Well, welcome to Light Vision Design's fourth Pro Workshop. We're so excited you're here. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Rebecca Healy. I'm the Sales and Marketing Coordinator. I was just talking to Caitlin Smith. She's the Sales and Product Trainer. And then David Gershaw is the CIO. He's going to be presenting today. So he's going to go through that, and then we're going to go ahead and have a quiz at the very end. Fill it out, do the best you can, pay attention. I really want you to be eligible for some prizes. I was turned down for Jeopardy music during the quiz, so sorry, it's going to be silent. So if you receive 90% or better, then you'll be entered into a drawing to win a $250 gift card, and we're going to have 2 winners. And then we're also giving away 20 Yeti cups. Light Efficient Design, Remfoss Yeti. These are real, these are cool, and we want you to win this, so pay attention. And then any questions during the webinar, Caitlin and I will try to answer them. Use the chat function. If there's any questions for David, use the Q&A, and he'll go over that after he goes over the results for the quiz. So enjoy. Thanks again for coming. And David, let's do this.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Caitlin. So I'm really excited to have everyone here. Let me just start the presentation. All right, beautiful. So welcome to Pro Workshop. This is our 4th session, March 2019, and the motto is Learn, Connect, and Sell Better. So what's this all about? Why are we doing it? The idea here is to help you learn more about the industry, company, and lighting products. We want to engage you face-to-face. Obviously, face-to-face contact in person is always the best, but if we can do it here virtually, that's close to doing it face-to-face in person. And then we want to definitely make this interactive. We'll have a quiz section at the end. That'll give you time, just as Rebecca mentioned, to think about the content that we covered, go through some of the questions. I'll review that. We've got some great prizes, just as Rebecca pointed out. We're giving out some $250 gift cards, a bunch of these Yeti mugs. So, and they're detailed questions. So definitely take notes if you can during the presentation. And we want to help you sell more. That's our ultimate goal here. Whether you're one of our reps, our distributor customers, our ESCOs, our contractors, our utility engineers, our end users, we welcome you, and we really want to help you understand more about the industry, more about our products, and help you choose the right products. So we're doing these Pro Workshop webinars every month, and they'll be about 45 minutes. We really want to respect your time. We know that your time is very important, so we'll make these as efficient and relevant as possible. So who's presenting today? Me. So I am, as Rebecca said, the Chief Innovation Officer here at Light Efficient Design. Basically, that means that I'm in charge of innovation, new product development. I'm based out of our Middleton, Massachusetts office. We have an office here in Massachusetts and also a Terry office in Illinois. I founded Remfoss, which merged with Light Efficient Design back in, that's incorrect, we merged last year, January 2018. And I just returned from a great sales trip to Puerto Rico for solar lighting. So down below is the business part of it. And you can see that that's a project where they use 2 of our 8-watt solar area lights to light a beautiful campus. And then up above, I actually had my mom come out towards the end of that trip, and we spent the weekend. So, and that El Moro fort, which was an old Spanish fort in Old San Juan, where the Spanish, ruled Puerto Rico for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it was really the gateway to the Caribbean. That fort was incredible. It's just a really amazing sight to see. Highly recommend it. So a little bit more about me. I wanted to, some people in the past months have asked for a little bit more of a background as to how I got into lighting. So I'm only going to spend a couple seconds on this, but I'll just go over this really quickly. So my first business was at age 6 years old. There's a picture of me on the left collecting, I was into rocks and minerals, collecting rock and minerals. That's actually in a Home Depot parking lot. The way I got interested in rocks and minerals is my dad took me to a Home Depot parking lot that was being built. And I started picking things up and said, wow, this is pretty cool. So my dad got me a hard hat and a book, upside down it looks like, about rocks and minerals. And I started selling them, the rocks that I collected at my grandmother's arts and crafts shows. So that's me at about 6 years old selling those rocks on the ground. My entry into lighting was at 14 years old. I developed a headlight system, an LED headlight system for BMWs. If anyone has more questions about that, there's a great video on the Remfoss website, or ask me, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. But that's how I got into lighting, through BMW lighting. And then I got a job at Sylvania, Austrium Sylvania, towards the end of college. And the technology that we were working on was called remote phosphor. Remote phosphor is what REMFOS was named after. So REMFOS, which is now a brand of light efficient design, was named after remote phosphor. And remote phosphor is the concept of using blue LED chips and then taking that yellowish orangish phosphor and putting it remotely above the blue chip. So you have a blue LED chip down here and then yellowish orangish phosphor up on top here. And when the blue light hits that yellow filter, as you can see on that right image, magically changes to white light. And phosphor, again, is the material on top of every blue LED that changes it from blue to white light. So that's the technology that I was working on in Sylvania. And then REMFOS begins in 2009. So I left Sylvania. I was an engineer there. I left Sylvania in 2008, started REMFOS in 2009 to become a supplier to them of this remote phosphor technology. You can see a couple of the example fixtures down there in the bottom. That's a tunnel fixture that lights up a lot of the Virginia tunnel system, Chesapeake tunnel system. On the right, that's a remote phosphor retrofit kit for airport runway signage. So that was the background. A few people had asked for that, so there you go. So back to the ProWorkshop class. So what are the 4 goals here? 1, provide you an update on both the lighting industry and on our company. 2, introduce you to some really cool new products or provide you updates on existing products. This month, we definitely have a new product. It's a brand new launch. 3, we want to present you with some memorable case studies about the products that we just covered to really hit home. We want these to be meaningful case studies that when you're with a customer in the field, it's something that you'll recall and be able to bring up as an example. And then 4th, we really want to test your knowledge. So we have that question, we have the live quiz in the end, and then we'll open it up to discussion for that Q&A. And we'll try to keep this as efficient as possible to that 45-minute period, but please, if you're interested to stick around for that Q&A section in the end, I'll be here as long as you need me, so know that. So first, industry updates. We did a really great project. We just completed it this month. We're really proud of it, so we wanted to talk about it. So Office Depot and Office Max, close to 1 million LED lamps. So T5 4-footers, T8 4-footers, T8 8-footers, PL lamps, some of our HID screw-in lamps. Close to 1 million lamps, and this came out of our new lineup. So Doug introduced us a couple months ago to our new glass linear lined up where we have double-ended power, ballast bypass LED tubes. And again, we've got those T5 HOs, we've got those 8-foot T8s. So we have the full assortment at a really, really great price. We handled the logistics for over 1,000 stores. So we're very proud of this. You know, it was Office Depot, Office Max have about 1,000 stores, and they wanted the material to arrive to them on pallets with all the lamps that they needed for that one installation on a certain date. So know that if you're any of our customers that get involved with national accounts, you know, a lot of our distributors obviously have the ability to do that, but we can also partner with you and offer those services if you're interested. We had a really happy customer and a success story. There's a picture of a completed store, one of the 1,000 stores. But this is why I say this is a great success story for you, our customers, is that if you're anywhere in the country and you walk into an Office Depot or Office Max store, take a look up, and there's our lighting, over close to 1 million lamps, if not a little bit more. So now to the product updates. So this month, we're going to be talking about a product called the Linear Transformer. So this is truly exciting. I'm really, really excited. We've been working for over a year on developing this product, making sure that it's perfect, right? Making sure that it's ready for prime time, adding a lot of features to make this super flexible and versatile. And I truly believe that this is the most versatile linear lighting product out there, not only from Light Efficient Design, but from any company. What is it? Basically, it's an alternative to LED tubes or LED fixtures. Many, many options. We're going to go through them. It's really easy to design a solution, and it has a best-in-class warranty. So we're calling it the Linear Transformer. Why are we calling it the Linear Transformer? Again, I'm going to talk a lot about that, but basically, it said it can be used either as a retrofit kit or a fixture. So a little funny kind of play on words, the Linear Transformer. The official name for it is the LED bar kit with the internal driver, as opposed to our current product that we've had on the market that's been very successful for us, which is the LED bar kit with the external driver. So, you know, where would it go? It would go in any of these linear fixtures. So troffers, I have a 2x2 that I'm going to do a live demo right behind me in a minute. But troffers, you know, vapor tights, strips, wraps, low base, high base, surface mounts. direct indirects with some custom bracketing that we can do for you. So it's extremely versatile for any of these linear fixture types. So if we're looking at it compared to LED tubes, I kind of want to run through this slide to show you what your customers may be thinking about that this would be the alternative solution to, the better solution to. So LED tubes, everyone knows a lot about LED tubes. The pro of them is that they're inexpensive, can be plug and play if they're type A. The con is that you're keeping your old sockets. They're not controllable via motion sensors or daylight sensors, nor are they dimmable. Low value proposition. What I mean by that is that if you're an ESCO or a distributor and you really want to show value to your end customer, a lot of times end customers will say, geez, I can just buy these LED tubes, these lamps, and plug them in by myself. Why do I need that ESCO, that distributor, that electrical contractor? We really partner with professional firms that want to show their value and want to show their end customers that they're not going with a cookie cutter solution. And then low rebate money. Usually LED tubes are on the low end of those rebate dollars. A new LED fixture, the benefit of that would be a really nice look. You're upgrading the look, but they're also controllable and dimmable. High rebate dollars. The con would be that it's more expensive than going with something like an LED tube. More labor. You have to remove the old fixture, dispose of it, put the new fixture in. So the waste removal is also increased. And then one of our current products that we've had on the market for a few years and it's been very, very successful for us. And don't worry, we're going to continue to offer this product. It's not going away. This is just what I'm about to present today is just an alternative to this. But our LEDBarkit with the external driver. So you can see the image down on the left, the two light bars with the external driver. So the benefit of that is a long warranty, 10 years. You don't have the old sockets that you would with LED tubes. They are controllable and dimmable because you have those 0 to 10 volt dimming wires. Medium rebate dollars, so not usually as much as a new fixture, but definitely more than LED tubes. The drawback of this product would be external driver. So it may be more labor than what I'm about to show you with our internal driver. And you can't do beautiful continuous runs, which I'm going to show you is one of the really, really cool features of this new product as well. So one solution, it's ETL to UL standards and DLC listed as both a retrofit kit and a fixture. So this one product, if you're a distributor and you want to stock something, this is the product to stock. You can put this on the shelf and it can be used by your customers as either as a retrofit kit or a fixture. And we've gone through the proper ETL listings for both categories and the proper DLC listings for both categories. So as a retrofit kit, troffers, the 2x2 I have behind me, a 2x4, linear fixtures, you can retrofit a vapor tight, a wrap, a high bay, utility strip, continuous runs. So there's a cove in the lobby of a nice hotel. This is going to be the perfect product for cove lighting and soffit lighting. And then you can also use this as a standalone new fixture. So you can buy this same product, it's the same price, the same SKU, and if you want to install it directly to the wall or the ceiling as a fixture, it's ETL and DLC listed for that purpose as well. You can use it as a stairwell fixture. We have DLC listings of this with the motion sensor built in as it as a stairwell fixture. You can use it as a linear ambient fixture. We have it listed under high bay categories, both low output and higher output. So versatile, so cool. So I'm going to switch over. Usually we wait till after I go through some of the presentation to do the demo, but I want to make sure that we go through this right now because I think it really hits home. And when I go through some of the material, it's going to be even more impactful if I show this video, the live video first. So behind me here, we've got a 2x2 troffer, prismatic troffer. This particular one had 2 U-bend lamps in it. So this is the LBI, the LEDBarkit-Internal driver, AKA the linear transformer. You'll notice here that I have the 2-foot unit. So this is the 2-foot unit. If we look at the end here, you'll see that there's 2 rows of pins. The bottom row of pins is for your line voltage, your mains voltage, so line, neutral, and ground. And then up here is where it gets really cool because we have 0 to 10 volt dimming and control, auxiliary 12 volt control power as well for our motion sensor. And I'll show you that in a minute. If we flip this, and you'll notice that one end has the pins that are male, and then the other end are female, so that if you're only using 1 bar and you have that incoming power cable to 1 bar, there's no risk of electric shock on the other end. So the UL made us do this. I'll also show this incoming power cable. So this is what's going to bring you power to the bar. So you plug that in here, and then again, you have that mains voltage wire and then that low voltage wire. If I flip us over here, you'll see that there's a flex watt and a flex color switch. So we have two versions of this. I'm going to go through the two versions. We have a base version and a pro version. But on the pro version, the 2-foot, 3-foot, 4-foot unit, you've got your flex watt and flex color switches, which many of you are familiar with some of our other products, our retrofit kits and fixtures that we already have on the market. But we were first to market with this technology. And basically, this is going to allow you to select between 3 different color temperatures and 3 different wattages in one unit. So not only can you stock this one product and put it on the shelf and have it be used either as a retrofit kit or a fixture, you can also stock this one product and it's going to work for you in 9 different configurations because of those 3 colors and 3 wattages. And all of the different configurations are on the DLC list. So also on our table here, we've got our optional motion sensor. So this is a high frequency motion sensor, and you can see that in this particular one, I have one of the linking cables plugged into it. But this is what's so cool about this unit is that because it uses our high frequency radar technology, if we have a lens over this dropper, whether it be plastic or glass, doesn't matter how thick it is or how diffuse it is, those high frequency radar waves are going to penetrate right through it to pick up motion so that that fixture will be high-low or high-low off or on-off via motion. Also new, and this is new, we now have built into these controls true daylight dimming or daylight harvesting. That means that if you're installing your fixtures near a line of windows, like I have here in my office, bright windows, and you want to activate the daylight sensor, in our other models of product, the daylight sensor simply holds the fixture off during the day, during those bright hours. This unit will do true interactive daylight dimming. So if the sun is out and it's noon, this is going to come down to maybe 10 or 20% energy usage. And towards the end of the day, when the sun goes down and starts getting a little bit darker, it's going to ramp it up. It's so smooth. The dimming up and down is very, very smooth. You don't even know it. You don't even really notice that it's happening. We have some installed in our office, and I honestly can't tell when they're doing it, but do know that you're saving a ton of power when you activate that daylight sensor on this control unit. And this makes it Title 24 compliant. The fact that we have motion sensing and true daylight interactive dimming, if you're in a state like California that has Title 24, perfect, because it's going to work for you. And then you can also have that remote control, order the remote control, so that if you want to program anything on that motion sensor, you can. So what comes standard with every unit is a light bar. Again, here I have the 2-footer, but we also have 3-footers and 4-footers. So you get a light bar, you get an incoming power cable with plenty of length of cable. We gave you plenty of length so that if you're for example, in a vapor tight and that cable is coming through the end and you need to make your connections in the middle, you got plenty of cable length. So we gave you that. You also have a really nice accessory bag here. Includes a bunch of things. I'm going to go over them in a minute, but you have ballast disconnects. You have your brackets. The bracket design that comes standard with the unit is super flexible. We put a lot of work into this. Basically, what this is going to allow you to do is it has magnets on the back of it, so you can just put 2 of these on the unit, again, comes standard, and then have it connect right to your fixture like I have that light bar mounted. And then there's 3 holes, 1, 2, 3. We do provide you with self-tapping sheet metal screws, so you can go through one leg and then another leg, or you can do all 4 legs. We give you 4 screws. Or you have an option, if you want to break off these tabs so you don't see the ends, you can break these off. There's a little score line, and you can use a hole through the center. So super, super flexible mounting clip. So in my example here, this 2x2, you can see I already have one of the 2-foot bars mounted. And in this fixture, we want 2 bars, right? Maybe 2 or 3, but in this example, I'm gonna do 2. So I'm gonna put my clips on the back of the bar. And then I'm gonna mount this right here. You see that the magnets are holding on to it. And you have an option. So I know that it's hard to see the bottom here, but you have an option. You can either have both incoming power cables come to the center, and we provide you with quick connectors. So if you just want to put both incoming power cables, or if you had 3 bars going together, this is wiring them in series, but you have everything you need just when you order it to do that. You have another option. Say that you just want to use 1 incoming power cable going to the fixture. You can skip the 2nd incoming power cable, and you can order one of our linking cables. So here's an example of 2 of the linking cable lengths. We have a 3rd length that's even longer. And you would go in between the 2 bars up here. So you'd plug these 2 bars in together. This would be in series. So you have 1 incoming power cable, and then it's going to go over to your 2nd bar. And then if you wanted to wire a 3rd bar in, you would do that as well. And then I'll show you how you can mount the motion sensor. This is what's really, really cool. I mean, this is so fast, labor savings. This is so much faster than anybody else's motion sensing installation out there. So basically, if you have your 2 bars in there, you want to add your motion sensor, you're just going to take this and you're going to plug it into the end. And the motion sensor, daylight sensor, has a bracket that would go right there. And then you put that lens back on the fixture, whether it be a prismatic or parabolic or volumetric. And again, both the daylight sensing function and the motion sensing function is going to happen right through your lens. So super fast installation, super quick. You'll also notice that the bar is shorter than the fixture. So the length of these bars is designed to fit either between T5 or T8 sockets. And then of course, we'll show you some images in a minute of, this sensor being plugged directly in to the end of the bar. Let's see here. So it comes with these, here's a seamless connector, and the seamless connector would be utilized for continuous runs where you don't want any gap of light between them. Great for codes or soffits, and we're going to show you some examples. But basically, if I take that and then I plug in that sensor, I didn't have one of the finished production units. Don't worry, they are white, clean looking to match the bar. This one was actually 3D printed. It was the only one we had this moment, but it does look very clean. You can see how that sticks right in the end. So this is a stairwell fixture, basically like that. You've got a really small profile, inexpensive solution for a fixture with an integrated sensor on the end of it. All right, so now we're going to go back to our presentation. All right, so we created for this product a full design guide. The difference between a design guide and what I'd call a cut sheet or a spec sheet is the level of detail that we go into. Because this product is so versatile, we wanted to make sure that we really covered every single question that you may have when you're specifying it or ordering it. So it's 15 pages long. I know that sounds daunting, but they're broken down pretty easily. Again, 10-year warranty, and we give 5 actual example cut sheets in the design guide going over actual examples, like this is what you would do if you were retrofitting a troffer. This is what you would do if you were retrofitting a strip fixture. This is what you would do if you're retrofitting a high bay. We're going to go through that, but makes it very, very simple and clear how to use it. Here's an overview of your 15 pages. The first 2 pages, say you're with a customer and you just want to give them something easy, front and back, 1 page. You'd print out just those first 2 pages. That gives you the default part numbers, and then it gives you that, that example I showed you on a couple slides before of saying that it can be used either as a retrofit or a fixture. Down below, that last row, those are our 5 example fixture uses. So again, troffer, retrofitting linear fixtures, using this as a stairwell fixture. We're going to go through this, but really, really spells out, not only with words, but also some really great renderings, how to use this, how to wire it, how simple it is, how fast it is. So we have 2 versions, a base and a pro version. Our pro version is definitely going to be our most popular version, but it's a slightly higher price point. So the pro version has got that integrated 10-volt dimming, 0 to 10-volt dimming. It's got 12-volt control power. That's what powers that motion sensor, or it can also power any other low voltage control system from Lutron or Avion or LG or Philips out there. Flex color and flex watt technology built in, 10-year warranty, and L70 of over 100,000 hours, where the base version doesn't give you dimming, doesn't give you any of that low voltage control power, does not have flex watt, does not have flex color, shorter 5-year warranty, and a shorter 50,000 hour L70. The base version is just available in 4-foot, 15-watt, 4,000 Kelvin. So that's a unit that if you don't care about any of the flexible features of it, the flex watt, the flex color, the dimming, this could, and the shorter warranty, this could be a lower cost solution for you. So let me go over the flex watt and flex color technology, because this is so cool. Again, there's a little example. It's probably easier to see here than the video I had up on the screen a second ago. But there's a picture, a rendering of the flex color and the flex watt slide switch. So this is going to, on the flex watt side, allow you to select between 3 different wattages. So I know there's a lot on that table, but basically it's saying 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot. On the 2 foot unit, you can select between either 6 watt, 9 watt, or 12 watt. On the 3 foot unit, 10 watt, 12 watt, 15 watt. And the 4 foot unit, 10 watt, 15 watt, and 25 watt. It's important to note that the lumens per foot is equal on all those settings between the 2 foot, 3 foot, and 4 foot. So if you're doing continuous runs, and at the end of that, say you've got a bunch of 4 foot units, and at the end of those 4 foot units connected together, you need 1 2 footer just to even out the installation. You can do that, and your lumens per foot are going to be equal, even though you're using the 2 foot unit. Flex color. So every Pro unit comes standard with a flex color switch to allow you to select between either 3,500, 4,000, or 5,000 Kelvin. And then we did not take any shortcuts with DLC. When we did our DLC listings, we made sure that all of the wattage and color combinations were listed. And we're one of the first manufacturers on the DLC list to meet their stringent new policy on adjustable light output and adjustable color temperature. So we are in compliance with DLC's policies and utilities policies as far as having adjustable wattage and color in the product. Should also note that every unit comes standard with a little door. So if you want to put a door over that flex watt, flex color switch portal, you can, so that it's locked out and nobody's going to touch it and fool with it. So what comes with every light bar? So there's a picture of the accessories that come with the light bar. So you're going to get an incoming power and control cable. You're going to get 2 of those easy to use surface mount magnetic clips with those score lines in case you want to just use that center screw. You're going to get 4 self-drilling screws. You're going to get your service disconnect. You're going to get a protective grommet, so that if you're, say you're drilling, into a ballast cover on a vapor tight, you could use that grommet so that the cable can pass through it. A lot of times people will just pass the cable through the socket, so they'll take some of those T8 or T5 sockets out and they'll just pass the cables through that. That's perfectly fine, but if you want to drill a hole in your ballast cover, we give you that grommet just in case you want to use it, but it's not necessary. Again, that door to cover the flex settings. We give you some wires to use on that service disconnect. We give you some wire nuts for your low voltage connections, and we give you some latch connectors. That's so that if you're doing that parallel configuration where you're just using an incoming power cable on each bar, and that's going to be your least expensive way to do it, because each bar comes with an incoming power cable. It does not come with the optional linking cables, which I'll go over, or the seamless cables, or the seamless connector rather. But if you want to wire, if you want to just have an incoming power cable on each bar, and it will still be a fast installation, we give you those latch connectors so that you can put all of your lines together in one, and then connect it to the main line. You put all your neutrals together and then connect it to your main neutral. Your dimensions. So the dimensions on the 2 foot, 3 foot, and 4 foot unit are as it shows there. So again, that 4 foot unit is less than 48 inches long, and that's so that when you put those cables on it, the extra length that takes up, it'll still fit in between a T5 or T8 socketed fixture. And don't worry, it looks beautiful, even though it's a little bit shorter than a 4 foot length. We haven't found a fixture that it doesn't look really nice in. So we have a lot of really cool parts and accessories for this product. Linking cables. We talked about that, available in 3 different lengths, 6-inch, 12-inch, and 18-inch. The seamless connector, that's going to be for doing your continuous runs with no gap. So you'll just have a continuous line of beautiful light. The 4.7-inch spacer connector. This is a really cool piece that we designed. What's the purpose of this? It's so that because the 4 foot bar, for example, is not exactly 4 feet long, say you're using this to retrofit industrial strips in a warehouse, and you want to make sure that the bar is perfectly centered in the middle of each ballast cover, that 4.7-inch spacer connector would go in between each bar so that each bar is totally centered, and you have a nice rigid, clean spacer, the spacer does not light up, but it allows for a super, super clean install. It's important to note also that the optional motion sensor, daylight sensor that I just showed, is the exact same length. So if you're doing long continuous runs on 8-foot industrials or 4-foot industrial strips, and you want to maintain a really clean install, you can go back and forth between either that motion daylight sensor or the spacer connector interchangeably. There's that sensor kit. The surface mount magnetic clips. So 2 of those come standard with every unit, so you would never need to buy that. But we do have optional clips. We have a suspended inline bracket. This is, I'll show our Light Bar Cafe here in Middleton, a case study at the end, but that's the unit that you would use. That's the bracket that you would use. If you have 2 bars mounted together, it allows, it's gonna hold that junction together. It's gonna join them really strongly together so that they don't flex up or down or left and right. And it's also gonna give you a mounting point for your aircraft cable to connect to our chain. T-bar clip, this is pretty cool. Say you're in an office and you have a 2x2 or 2x4 ceiling grid and you want to get rid of all the troffers altogether and do a really clean modern look. That will allow you to mount it right to the T-bar grid, and you bring incoming power feed into your first bar and you can do a long continuous run. It'll be really beautiful down the office. And then a blade clip. This is for retrofitting high bay fixtures. So a lot of times high bay fixtures, your T5, your T8, old high bay fixtures that you could use this inside of have aluminum reflectors that don't really take well to the magnets or to the self-tapping screw locations on the standard surface mount bracket. So this blade clip allows you to move it back and forth and allows you to have some additional distance so that you can match up with where the sockets or aluminum reflector are attached to the real sheet metal of the fixture. We also have an optional emergency battery backup. So it outputs a maximum, it's an inverter, so it provides AC power to the light bar. It's super easy to wire in. It outputs a max of 25 watts. So that means, for example, if you're doing 2-footers, you want to use this in any configuration up to 25 watts. So if you have 4 of your 2-foot bars set to that 6-watt flex watt choice, 4 times 6, that's 24 watts. That's fine. Or if you have 2 2-foot bars set to 12 watts, which is the max setting on the 2-foot bar, that's 24 watts. Again, that's fine. Down below in the 4-footers, you could have 2 4-foot bars set to 10 watts. That's fine because that's 20 watts, which is below the max 25 watts. Or you could have 1 4-foot bar set to 25 watts. It would not be okay if you had 2 or 3 4-foot bars set to 25 watts to plug it into one of these units, because then you'd exceed that max of 25 watts of output power. So now I'm going to go through some of the applications. There's a table of contents if you were to have the design guide in front of you. Before I go into these 5 example uses, I want to talk a little bit more about the different wiring methods. So there's parallel, and then there's series. So again, every light bar, I know this is a little bit confusing, but I want to make sure that I explain it very clearly. So every light bar, when you order it, comes with a single incoming power cable. So that means that you have everything you need to light up that light bar. And if you want to use 1 unit standalone, you're fine. If you want to use 2 bars, you're fine, because you just bring both of those cables under your ballast cover and connect it to line, neutral, and ground, you'd be good to go. If you had 3 bars, you're fine, because again, each bar comes with its own incoming power cable. That's what we'll call our parallel installation method. Series would be with the optional linking cables. And this could be, why would you want to do this? Series could be a little bit faster, right? Because you only have to bring in 1 incoming power feed. You don't have to group the incoming power cables together, but you have the expense of the linking cable. But there's some great uses for it. Say you're doing cove lighting, and you want to bring in 1 incoming power feed, and you don't need the bars touching each other, so you don't need that seamless connector. Then you can use the linking cable and separate your bars out a little bit. And then series with seamless connector. That's without this cable, that's using that rigid seamless connector that allows the bars to touch with no gap. So first example will be retrofitting troffers. So we have these DLC listed as troffer retrofit kits, both under the 2x2 and 2x4 category. The first method, you can see that little rendering up top, but that first rendering shows just, using what comes standard with the units. So, you have 3 light bars in that fixture, you have 3 incoming power cables, and they're all going to be grouped under that ballast cover. The ballast cover is not shown, but it comes with everything you need to do that, because it has the incoming power cables, it has the quick quick connectors to bring all three of your lines and all three of your neutrals together. So it's going to be fast. And then you have in that drawing on the left the optional sensor kit, which again you would it's too long to have it stick out the end and plug right into the end of the bar in this particular fixture in a 2x4, but it's okay, because the OC1 sensor kit comes with one of the linking cables so that you can place it just as shown in that drawing. And then series would mean that you're purchasing optional linking cables. You decide what length you need, and then the bars loop together. Here is a linear fixture example. This particular rendering is of a Bakelite, and just like we talked about before, there's two ways you could do this. The least expensive way, the easiest way to do it, would be to just run them in parallel with the two incoming power cables that come with it, or again, you could use the linking cables. Continuous runs, here's where it gets pretty fun. So up top, that's an image of this being used as a fixture. Again, this is UL listed and DLC listed as a fixture. So you can take this and mount it right to the ceiling, right to the wall, or suspend it as a pendant. And you can see that we have the seamless connectors in between each bar, which means that there's no light gap at all. And then down below, that's an example of using the exact same product, the LBI, as a retrofit kit. So those are that example is an 8-foot strip fixture. You might have, in that photo, you just have one, but there could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them in a row. And when you're doing continuous runs, we're UL listed for up to 40 pieces in a row continuously. So that means that if you feed your first light bar with power, you can connect to 40 4-footers in a row in series without needing another incoming power feed. Super, super cool. And that orange circle shows the 4.7-inch spacer connector, which is what I was describing, that would help you locate that bar perfectly in the center of that ballast cover. So to do a continuous run, you would use the seamless connector. To do a continuous run with the optional sensor, you'd order some seamless connectors and sensors. Or if you wanted to do what's shown in that lower photo, you'd order the spacer connectors. And when you're doing continuous runs, it shows you the accessories that you might think about using. That seamless connector, the surface mount magnetic clip, but again, that comes with each bar. The suspended inline bracket, again, that'll help join the two junctions of the bar together so they're nice and rigid and don't flex. That T-bar clip if you're doing the offices, or that 4.0-inch spacer connector. So a lot of great accessories available at really low prices for continuous runs. Here's an example of that high bay fixture. So again, you can do either parallel or series, and then you can order that blade clip so that if you have that aluminum reflector, and you can see in that rendering the really kind of chintzy, thin aluminum reflector that you wouldn't want to put sheet metal screws right into. So you'd order that blade clip, and that will allow you to move your screw location out to where the sockets or that flimsy aluminum reflector attaches to the real sturdy steel sheet metal of your fixture. And then you can order linking cables as well if you wanted to do in series. Here's an example of a stairwell fixture. So as a stairwell fixture, we have this DLC listed both under a 2-foot and a 4-foot stairwell fixture. And this is going to be a super low cost way to achieve a high-low dimming stairwell fixture. So what does this stairwell fixture kit include? It includes basically what I have right here, one of the light bars, 2-foot in this case, but if you order the 4-foot kit, it would include the 4-foot light bar, and then that integrated motion sensor that you just plug into the end. And that's all you need to mount this to the wall and have a stairwell fixture that does high-low motion sensing dimming. And then you can also use it, say, you unplug that, you don't care about the motion sensor in your application. This is a great utility fixture, right? It's pretty low profile, so it's not going to cover paint scars like our LIVC stairwell corridor fixture that's 6 inches wide. But if you don't care about covering old paint scars, say it's new construction or you're adding new lighting to an existing building, you can use this as a utility fixture as is, and this becomes a really, really cost-effective, high-performance DLC listed stairwell fixture. And again, this is listed with UL to just take this and mount it directly to your wall or ceiling. So I wanted to go over the product selection guide, kind of the table that helps you decide what part number you would order. So on the left there is the full page. You can see it's really small. And then I just blew it up and zoomed in on the right. And you can see that I'm zoomed into the green section. There's multiple sections, green, blue, and then on the other page, another color, orange. But basically, you'll see on the left, it says Pro 1X bar kit. So that means it's the Pro model that you're getting. And 1X means that you're getting 1 bar in that kit. So that part number is for 1 bar, if you just want to order 1 bar. You can see that we give you your part numbers. And the 3 that I've selected there, and they're in bold on the cut sheet, are your defaults. So for the 4-foot bar all the way down at the bottom, and you can see that, so say you only need to order 1 bar, you know, what length do you want? You want a 4-foot bar, so you go down to the bottom of that guide, and you want to order it at the default, and you can order it, as far as the flex watt, the flex color switches go, you have a choice. You can either order it from us default, which means that it's going to be factory set. It shows you what the factory set default is. So on that 4-foot bar, it's set to 15 watts, which is about 2,000 lumens, 4,000 Kelvin. But you have a choice. You can either have your customer or contractor, installer, adjust it in the field, and it's very easy. You saw how easy it is to access those little switches and change them, and then you just put that door over it to lock it out. Or you can pay us a small upcharge, and we will factory preset it to any of the other choices. And then on the right, you can see your DLC categories. So again, we have these listed both as fixtures and retrofit kits. We're constantly going to be adding even more listings, but you can see categories under linear ambient, high bay, and then under the retrofit under linear ambient and troffer. On this page, so this is that blue section. So these are your 2X bar kits. So this is going to give you, if you order this part number, it's going to give you 2 bars. So if you're doing that 2x2 like I showed and you wanted 2 bars in that fixture, you could order the 2X part number. So, you know, if you go down to, again, the 4-foot unit, so you'll see at the end of that part number, the suffix -2X. That means that that kit comes with 2 bars. -3X would be 3 bars. So your wattage per bar, it shows you is 15 watts, 2,000 lumens, times 2, because we have 2 bars in this kit for a total of, so it gives you your total wattage and total lumens as well. So it makes it really easy. And then you can see those are listed under both retrofit and under retrofit as both troffers and linear ambient. And then here's your 3X bar kit. So you can see the 3X on the end of the part number, the suffix. So those are, if you order that part number, you're going to get 3 bars in the kit. And then for 4 bar kits, note that we don't sell 4X bar kits. We only sell them as 2X, 1X, 2X, or 3X. So if you wanted 4 bars in one fixture, you got to think about it a little differently. It's not like our external driver bar kit product where you have 1 driver and multiple bars. Every bar has its own internal driver in it. So it doesn't matter if you're putting 1 in a fixture or 2 or 3 or 4, it's the same product, right? So if you need 4 bar kits, we didn't go through that. They are UL listed to use as many as you want in a fixture, but we didn't go through the hassle of getting 4 bar kits listed on DLC because you can easily use either 4 of the 1 bar systems, or you can use 2 of the 2 bar systems. Also note down below about continuous runs. So if you're doing continuous runs, you would just order, you know, say you needed, say you wanted to install 20 bars in a row, all connected, you just order 20 single bar kits, and then your accessories that are necessary, whether they be the seamless connectors, your linking cables, your motion sensor. Again, you can connect up to 40 light bars on 1 incoming power cable. And note that unlike the LEDBarkit-Internal driver, where there is a cost savings, in other words, if you have 1 bar, 1 driver, that kit on our external driver product, the two bars on 1 driver is less expensive than buying 2 separate one bar kits, right? Because you have less drivers. But with this system, it doesn't matter. So the price of ordering a 2X kit is the exact same as ordering 2 pieces of the single bar kit. Case study. Appreciate, I know we're running a couple minutes over here. I promise we're almost finished. I have 2 case studies. This is the first one. This is in a vapor tight. Excuse me. So this was at a large parking garage in Arizona. They looked at using LED tubes, but could not get controllability or rebate that they wanted with LED tubes. So they looked at using a new LED fixture. The issue there was it was going to be too much labor money. They're hard pipe conduited in. They were nice fixtures in good condition with glass lenses. It was just going to be too much money to order a brand new fixture. Each fixture had 2 pieces of 32-watt T8 fluorescent tubes. And they decided to retrofit each fixture with 2 of the 4-foot light bar plus the motion daylight sensor. And they set the flex watt switch to 10 watts per 4-foot bar for a total of 20 watts. So they went from 64 watts with the T8 fluorescent down to only a total of 20 watts, right? Because they have 2 bars in each fixture, each one set to 10 watts. So 10 times 2 is 20 watts total. So 20 watts, and they exceeded the foot candle levels of the 2 32-watt fluorescents. Another way to do this, if you wanted to save even more money, and I'm in the business, Light Efficient Design is in the business of saving our customers money, they chose to use 2 light bars. You could use 1 light bar, right? You could use 1 4-foot light bar, just set it to 25 watts. That's also going to give you more than enough foot candles to replace the 2 32-watt T8, and you're going to save the cost because you're not going to be paying for an extra light bar. That really just comes down to cosmetics, whether your customer thinks that it looks okay with 1 bar in the fixture or if you need to go to the 2 bars. Result in this case was a really, really happy customer that loved the appearance, and the installer gave us great feedback that the units were really fast to mount and really fast to wire. So there's a photo with the lens installed, looking up at it from the ground. And again, that integrated motion daylight sensor is going to see right through that lens. There is a photo of really nice light levels. Here's another example. So that was a retrofit example, right? That was a retrofit case study. Here's an example of using the exact same product as a new fixture. Not only using it as a new fixture, but using it in a beautiful architectural installation. So this is our Light Bar Cafe here in Middleton. We use this space here for lunch and learns for our customers. So many of our customers have already been here, and a lot of our reps have already been here, but more and more of you are going to be coming this year. And if you haven't been here, whether you're a utility or an ESCO or a distributor or rep, please talk to your salesperson or contact here at Light Efficient Design and get in here, because we have an unbelievable trading facility. You can see manufacturing happening right before your eyes here in the United States. We're so proud of that. We have a great warehouse, and it's a fun time. We have a lot of fun with these workshops that we do here. So what did we use? What did we look at using? Our architect that helped design this space here wanted to use a Phillips linkable fixture. Each 4-foot section was over $120 per 4-foot section. We don't talk about pricing in these pro workshops because we let our distributors price our product, but I can assure you that this product is significantly under $120 per 4-foot section, not even close. So a lot of architects out there for new construction will spec this Phillips product or Acuity or Cree, but in this case, Phillips, that is so much more expensive. We use the pendant hanging clips, the optional ones that I was showing before. We installed 120 pieces of the 4-footer. And the result is a really beautiful architectural pendant continuous run. You can see that there's no gap between those 4-foot light bars because of that, that seamless interconnect. Here's some really beautiful photos. Here it is over the stairs. You can see our architect did something pretty fun, and I recommend you do this if you ever have a project like this. Don't just go simple in straight rows. Switch it up. So ours are at an angle. You can see they're not square with the railing or the walls, so they're at an angle. And then we switched up the length. So some of the runs, you can see a single 4-foot bar back in the back by the corner. And then we have 8-foot runs, which is 2 4-foot bars. We have 3 4-footers, 4 4-footers, really kind of switched it up to keep it interesting. So there you go. There's your introduction to our really, really exciting new product, the linear transformer, or AKA the LEDBarkit with internal driver. We're so excited to launch this product. We put so much work into it, and we're just excited to see